Death Star, man.
Nobody calls Han Solo a bitch.
Bring him on. I prefer a straight fight to all this sneaking around.
I don't know where you get your delusions, laser brain.
Oh, come on, bro. It's the wars.
Well, it turns out that sometimes the wait is worth it. We actually have news. This is The Wars and More. I'm Joe. And of course, with me is my good buddy Doug. Hey, Doug, how you doing?
Doing pretty good, Joe. How you doing?
Doing all right. We took a week off.
Right. Yep.
Took a week off. There was nothing.
True.
Absolutely nothing.
Right. Yes.
We sat down to discuss it. It's like, yeah, there's just... So we made a plan. We came up with something to talk about in the case of nothing again.
Yep.
And of course, we get news. Pretty decently big news. In all honesty, it kind of blindsided me.
Yeah.
I mean, we knew it was coming, right? We knew an announcement was forthcoming.
Uh-huh.
But we got a trailer for The Bad Batch.
Yes.
And a release schedule.
Yes.
And it's sooner than I anticipated.
Yeah. I was blown away by how quick we're going to get this. I'm actually kind of impressed that, we're not going to have to wait till June or something,
Right. Oh, no, that would have been normal for it. Like, I think we even talked about this, May 4th trailer.
Yeah.
And announcement. But no, we're going to have it all out of the way before May 4th. So
that's right.
May 4th is now up in the air again.
Exactly.
Going to waste a Saturday, May 4th.
Ooh. That's a shame because that'd be a good one. That'd watch parties everywhere,
Yeah, it'd be a good time to do something in a theater.
Right?
Wait, they don't do that no more.
Yes, they will. They'll play the original trilogy in the theaters for the 4th. Whether that's
I got the perfect May 4th item.
What's that?
They already have them. They're ready to go. Give us episode 2 and 3 in 3D. And let's do this.
That'd be awesome. Yeah, I'd go check that out. Absolutely.
Yeah. We know you got them done.
Right.
You had them at Celebration. So that's my vote.
And we would all pay to go see that too,
We all went and saw episode 1. It did great.
Absolutely. Yes.
It's not like they pulled the plug because it was failing. They pulled the plug because Disney bought it.
Right.
Yeah. Actually, yeah, that was right before the acquisition, wasn't it?
Yep.
Yeah, the Disney acquisition screwed everything up.
And it's been going that way ever since. Sorry.
Yeah, I guess the writing was on the wall, right?
Yep.
They even canceled the damn movies that were ready.
Right. Canceled the Clone Wars. Man.
Because we want to focus on new stuff.
Right.
How'd that work out?
New stuff. And yeah, we got some movies to announce. Lots of them. We'll make a couple.
Lots of them. How many are there? All of them.
Right.
And none of them.
Yes. Oh, we are horrible.
No, I mean, we're obviously being facetious here because they did come out really strong.
Of course, yeah.
Well, schedule-wise.
Yeah, they did.
Actually, they came out pretty strong performance-wise, too.
Yeah.
Because Force Awakens did well, and Rogue One did really well.
Yep. Well, if you're talking dollar amounts, I would say emphasize it the other way around, right?
Oh, no, I'm not talking dollar amounts.
Okay.
No, dollar amounts, The Force Awakens did really, 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 really well.
Exactly.
And Rogue One did okay.
Well, I would say $1 billion is pretty good.
Yeah, it's solid. It's solid. But the reason I said it the other way around, I would say Rogue One is by far the fan favorites.
Yeah, it's
of
definitely
the Disney era.
the most revered, of all of these, I'd say.
And with good reason.
Yep.
With good reason. I think it's the most well-rounded and best film of the Disney era.
I totally agree. A lot of good stuff was done in that movie, and it's not like it was able to be continued on and screwed up.
And you know what I really love about this segue is one thing I'm going to say right here.
Yeah.
Is Rogue One actually debuted some technology in films.
Oh, yeah.
That was utilized in the film we're going to talk about for the second half of this show.
Ah.
And to see the growth in that technology is just wild.
It's amazing, yes.
So, little teaser.
Tease, yep.
But yeah, back to Bad Batch.
Yeah, it's what we started talking about, yep.
Right? I mean, we got a date, and then we didn't even say the date.
That date is 2/21. That's February 21st, right?
Yep, February 21st. And it's a 3-episode initial release, so yeah. I'm guessing these 3 episodes are going to play like a little mini movie.
I would imagine, yep.
Hopefully it's not like 3 episodes and the 4th is going to cap it off and you got to wait a week for that.
Well, if you're going to judge by titles, I would say no, that's not the way it's going to work. Because those 3 episodes, the titles are Confined, Paths Unknown, and Shadows of Tantus. And then on the 28th, the 4th episode is A Different Approach. So, my guess is that's going to be like something different.
Yeah. I just laughed because the title, Shadows of Tantus.
Why,
also another tease for the movie we're about to talk about.
Yeah?
Tantus?
Tamus?
Oh. Yeah, never mind. It was Tamus, wasn't it? Damn it.
Hey.
Wah, wah, wah.
Yeah. So it looks like we're going to get the Bad Batch, every week from the 21st all the way up until May 1st. And the week of March 13th, it's going to be a double episode week. And April 3rd will also be a double episode week. So
I wonder why the fast schedule.
I don't know. They did that before with the Bad Batch.
Yeah, but there was a bunch of other stuff coming out.
That is true. I mean, maybe they have other stuff. I mean, we do have stuff that's gonna be coming, like Acolyte, right? And
yeah, maybe they gotta get it. They gotta get it all out of the way before the Acolyte premiere on May 4th.
Right. Exactly. You never know.
If it's right, you heard it here first.
Yeah. The thing is, I honestly don't understand, if they're going to come out with this much content, if it overlaps a little bit, so what? They did that before, right?
Right.
The Bad Batch overlapped with The Mandalorian or something?
Yeah, I think it was The Mandalorian.
Something like that. I don't know. But it's, it's not that big of a deal, I guess, to me. I don't know.
No, it's not that big a deal. period.
Right.
So, yeah, it's just I thought that was weird. A little compressed schedule.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just going to make sense because those episodes being paired together is going to prevent the fury that would come from the cliffhangers.
Oh, that's possible. That's possible. Although, yeah, you mean after the big one they left us with that kind of looks like they answered already?
Yeah. Oh my God. Why would they do that? Why would they reveal so much in a trailer?
Yeah, I was going to say, is it time to get in the trailer? Let's get in the trailer.
It's time to get in a trailer.
So, right. So, I mean, looks like Tech's gone. I don't know.
Well, we knew that, right?
Well, I guess, but I mean, there was a lot of holding out hope to, maybe he was recovered and he'll, I guess it would have been worse if they'd have shown him captured by the Empire in the trailer. But
right. Maybe that's the actual reveal.
Well,
he was captured by the Empire.
You know what? If that's the case, awesome. Because you're right. They showed us everything else in the trailer then, right?
Right.
Such as
which part you want to start with?
I was going to say, you want to hit the big one first?
Oh boy. The one where I'm like, how in the hell?
Yes.
So, Asajj Ventress.
Right.
Huge.
It's the one that everyone's like, awesome. How?
Right. That's exactly what I did. I love the character.
Right.
Love the character. Excited the character's coming back.
Yes.
How?
Exactly.
Is the first question I have. It's getting to be, well, first off, no one's ever dead in Star Wars.
Apparently not.
It's just, that's the way it is.
Right.
So once we get to the Rey series and you got Han Solo back, it's just nothing. You want to tell me I'm nuts?
What are you talking about?
I said once we get to the Rey series and we got Han Solo back.
Oh, you know what? I was thinking back to the sequel series. Wow. Okay. Han Solo back.
Yeah. No one's dead in Star Wars.
That's true.
And that really upset her, so we got to undo that.
That's true. I gotcha. Yes, we could do that. It did really upset her. Yeah.
But yeah, so I mean, and this, I guess the other reason why I'm kind of like, how, but also why, is Dark Disciple such a good story.
Yes.
And Dark Disciple hit a certain way because Asajj was dead.
Yes. Yeah, she saves Quinlan Voss by taking the shot of lightning he was supposed to get, right? So it's like, yeah, that's, I don't know. I will say that sparked me to go to StarWars.com and in their what is it called, the data bank, right?
Yeah.
So I'm looking at Ventress's profile, and it goes through her, working alone until she meets up with Voss, and blah 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 blah, fall in love, passion, Ultimately, Ventress sacrificed herself to save Quinlan's life, taking the brunt of Dooku's Force lightning during their final confrontation. But that wasn't the end of Asaja's story. ... So they actually have that on StarWars.com now. Because,
Did they put a date on when that was edited?
No.
That right there, my friends, is a misleading labor practice.
Yes, it is. Yep.
And, this is going to be crazy to say, but I'm going to say it.
Uh-oh.
If you can sue because your Reese's jack-o'-lantern doesn't look like a jack-o'-lantern, I think we got a case here, folks.
Yeah, I think you're right. I mean, when you think about the arc of the character, right? She starts off, starts off in the Clone Wars animated series that George originally did, the shorts.
Mm-hmm.
And, basically auditions to work with Dooku, gets the spot, blah, 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 see her arc all through the Clone Wars, things happen, Night Sisters, da, 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 da. Anyway, we all know this story.
Right?
This kind of redemption, through Dark Disciple at the end, it's like, it was very satisfying. It was a, satisfying end for the character.
Mm-hmm.
But then, so what do we do now? Always? Nope. We get rug pulled again. I don't know. Not that it's a bad thing, but it's just like, and again, this is a character of George's, so I am all for continuing on the legacy. But it's like,
here's the other thing. Where is she standing in this dynamic? What's her allegiance?
Well, okay. I'm still on that StarWars.com page. Hold on. After Dooku was ordered to dispose of Asajj and left her for dead, Ventress returned to her Night Sister clan to exact revenge. In time, Ventress reinvented herself as a bounty hunter and reclaimed her identity. Neither a Sith nor a Jedi. Now that was all before, the final end, but I'm not sure.
Like, are we to assume this is bounty hunter?
I'm thinking so. I'm thinking so. Yeah.
All right.
I mean, yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, because I'll tell you what, the first time I watched it through, I had to come back because, like, my initial glance, it really had some, like, Inquisitor vibes, and I'm like, no.
Right.
There's no way in hell.
No.
And then I looked again, it's like, oh, she's got, like, a Dora the Explorer backpack on there, and
yes.
So, yeah, my guess is more bounty hunter. She's got the hair now that kind of changes up the look.
Right.
So, yeah, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about this.
Well,
like I said, excited because I really enjoy the character.
Yeah.
But scared because I really enjoyed the character because of how dynamic the character was.
Yeah. And even the end of the character was like
satisfying
said, yes.
and like it's something to be very, very happy with, right? Like,
right.
No, well, not so much like happy that she died, but just happy that she got such a fulfilling arc.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
this just seeing this trailer is kind of like sparking my interest to go back and revisit Dark Disciple, because it's like immediately it popped all these questions in my head about like, well, how are they doing this, right? It's like, okay, now I want to go back and see if there's any little things I might have missed, that's going to help with how this plays into the Bad Batch here.
Right. Because, I mean, I want to think back to Dark Disciple here. You got to think of the time period and everything going down and all the changes. And this idea that the Clone Wars was never going to get concluded properly.
Right.
This is another part of that whole situation where Disney really comes out strong out the gate, because Star Wars publishing out the gate was really solid.
Right.
You got Dark Disciple and Tarkin and or not Tarkin, Catalyst.
Right.
And New Dawn.
Yep.
These were all pretty solid.
Yes.
Lords of the Sith.
Yes. Now, I will say, if I recall correctly, some of the story arcs they were planning for the Clone Wars.
That was Dark Disciple.
Yes, that was Dark Disciple. So that's, Yeah,
this Asajj Ventress arc that is Dark Disciple was supposed to be a Clone Wars arc.
Right. Which,
that'd have been pretty deep.
Yeah, exactly. I would have loved to have seen all that play out in animation.
Oh yeah. I'll say this: in a novel, you get a little more depth of storytelling.
True.
But yeah, I'm with you there. That would have been very wild to see in animation.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't screw it up.
Exactly.
God, don't screw it up. Such a good character. Yeah, and then the other ones I didn't even catch. These other reveals in the trailer. You gotta be honest, when you pointed them out to me, I was like, oh crap, I missed that.
Was there more than one more? I don't remember now. So the one, and I'll admit fully, okay, I was kind of a little tipped off on, but it made me look. It appears as though, and I'm guessing it's in that whole Juggernaut scene.
Mm-hmm.
We have a quick flash of Crosshair suited up with Hunter, like in Crosshair's original suit. So I got a feeling they rescued Crosshair back from the Empire. So
either that or flashback. Oh no, can't be.
Why?
Because you got Wanda Sykes' character.
Oh, yep, you're right. That's right. So yeah, I'm thinking they get him back. So
yep, and I'm guessing it's probably around the same time to get Omega back. since they're passing each other in the hall.
Yeah, I'm thinking that's probably the case as well. So
Yeah. So, I mean, all in all, trailer looks good.
yes.
It looks like it's going to be an exciting end to it. I just hope they didn't spoil it all with the trailer.
Right. I mean, we're gonna get some more bounty hunter action. We see, Cad Bane. We see Fennec Shan. I mean, I'm kind of getting the vibe that maybe that's how Ventress is gonna tie into this. The bounty hunters are chasing after the Bad Batch now. Bounties put out by the Empire. Blah 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 blah. But who knows? I mean, should be good.
Yeah. I mean, it's looking good. Looking promising.
Right.
Well, all right. So, in our effort to make sure we had something to talk about,
Yeah.
and I think we mentioned we were going to do this before. I'm 99% certain
Right.
that we mentioned we were going to visit this film. And that film is Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny.
Yeah. We were slow on checking this one out, but
I'm scared. Scared's the way to put it.
I think you're right. Apprehensive for sure. Like, oh boy.
I mean, I'll tell you what. I hit play.
Yep.
I was terrified.
Terrified. Wow. Okay.
I was like, please, don't ruin this at the end.
Oh yeah.
Just don't have this be one of those situations where you should have just let it be.
Right. And that's saying a lot because letting it be would have been finishing with Crystal Skull. That's.
Yeah, but we can just ignore one.
Yeah. Right. True.
When you do it twice, we got to have a conversation.
I like it.
I mean, you know what I mean, though? Like, Crystal Skull, like, okay, it is what it is.
Yes.
Right?
Yep.
If they leave the series there, they learn from their mistakes. They just didn't have Indiana Jones in them.
Right.
and we let it go.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you what, I gotta say, Crystal Skull had an impact on this film.
It did. And I'm gonna say not in a bad way.
I'll say it. I would agree, not in a bad way, but I will say in a tiny bit, a little bit disruptive way.
Okay.
Okay, this constant callback to other films is not really an Indiana Jones thing. They stand alone. There's not a whole lot of stuff. There's not a whole lot of stuff linking the other films together. Like, can you tell me what about what do they discuss in the plots for Temple of Doom, Raiders, and Last Crusade? What do they discuss in those that link them to the other ones?
So you're talking just those three?
Yes.
Okay.
It wasn't until Crystal Skull that they started linking
the
storylines.
Yeah.
I mean, there were little tidbits in the other ones, but they were, I mean, the slightest bit of a tid.
Yeah. Well, I'd have to give you that one. I mean, it's
like the Indiana Jones stories. They were just standalone stories. This was not like a linear story arc that you were following.
right. True.
You know, I mean, how many times in Last Crusade did he mention the Ark of the Covenant? You know, and if you would think if you're going after a religious artifact and you just had a bad experience, you'd bring it up.
True. It's a good point. No, I have to give you that one. It's a good point.
So, yeah.
Now, I got to say, the callbacks didn't bother me.
No, they didn't bother me. But I would say it's one of those elements to Indiana Jones that I think kind of made it what it was. Is that it was just that story. There was no baggage.
Okay. Makes sense.
You know, by just telling the story that you're telling, you don't have baggage to connect the dots and make sure that you maintain the canon and like do this. Like you didn't have to do that.
Right.
As long as he looks like Indiana Jones, he talks like Indiana Jones, he's gonna go find shit buried in the sand. You know, you got it.
Yep, gotcha. Yep.
So,
makes sense. I like it. Oh, it's funny. Okay, so it's funny you mentioned this. I'm gonna go here first. I was gonna say this for a little bit, but okay, because something I was thinking with this whole, we got this whole new villain, a new Nazi for Indiana Jones, right? To be fighting against. Was it Voller, right?
Yep.
I was thinking what would have been a nice callback is if like this guy was actually working for Belloc and we saw just even Belloc in the background where, he just says, hey, put the spear over there or something. You know what I'm saying? And that's just my own, desire for the nostalgia,
Yeah. Yeah, I guess.
I don't know. I mean, you're making an excellent point for these being, standalone films and stuff. Whereas I was watching this and the bits that actually, do call back, I thought it was a nice touch for this Indiana Jones movie. So.
And I guess the problem there was seeing Belloc there. Like, Belloc wasn't like an official Nazi, right?
Yeah, he's working with them. I mean,
he was working with them, but he was using them to achieve a goal.
Sure.
So, I mean, this guy was a true believer.
Yeah.
So that was a little different from your Indiana Jones villain, right? Both the guys that were the ringleaders in the work against Indiana Jones were guys who were trying to play the system.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Just use the Nazis. This guy's a true believer. Not a true believer in Hitler.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yes. In the party. Yes.
He was a true believer in the party.
Right. Yeah. No, totally. Yeah, no doubt. He was he thought he could do it better than Hitler. That's the
right.
Kind of the whole crux of the situation, yeah. Which was a neat little twist on things, but it was, I will say, I did like this movie, but it seemed a little long. Right? It was long, but some things I feel like could have been condensed a little bit.
Yes. I'd say this, and this is probably going to be an unpopular comment. I feel like the beginning could have been shortened.
No, I'll agree with you.
Okay, I would see that being as a point of contention because, it was done really well.
It was done really well.
This is that CGI thing I alluded to with the de-aging and stuff.
Yes.
I mean, granted, this technology was used to bring Tarkin back to life, right?
Right.
But and in this case, they had Harrison Ford that they could use as the base to de-age and but I mean the advances they've made in that. Wow.
Oh, I have to say it's getting good. There were moments when you're like, okay, I see it, but
yep.
There's,
those moments were much fewer than they've been.
Exactly. And it is getting good.
Yeah.
It is for sure. Like if that it was a significant portion of the movie, but if that was the whole movie, it wouldn't have bothered me one bit, really. If you want to tell another Indiana Jones movie of him in his youth, it can totally be done.
Yes. Maybe that's what they were going for. They're trying to see if that's would audiences want that.
Right. Well, sure.
I mean, yeah, if you're going to try.
Yeah. Just make it good. Right.
Yeah. I mean, that's just going to be the only thing. I mean, I think you'd probably be under more pressure to make it good.
Oh, absolutely.
But yeah, I do feel like that beginning could have been shortened. This extra long train chase that's going on.
Yeah.
I thought that was long and excessive, and yeah, okay, they got the artifact, but did it need that much time?
Exactly. Yes, that could have been done with a little more brevity. There were also, in my opinion, I'm just gonna, because I think they lingered on this character a little more than they should have in the middle of the movie. What was his name? Teddy?
Yeah.
The kid?
Mm-hmm.
Right? I mean, I'm just going to put it plain and simple. He was no short round, right?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I mean, and we didn't need this whole, it wasn't really that long, but it seemed unnecessary to me, where he's like, questioning Helena about, who's in charge and this and that. And then he goes and pickpockets the kid. And, I don't know. There was something about that character that bugged me a little bit, and anytime they dwell on him, it bugged me. But
yeah, he definitely was not an attention grabber.
Right. That's it, I think. Short round, big personality, right? Teddy, not so much. and it's, nothing to, no knock on the actor or anything like that, but it was just like, I just felt like he could have been written better, maybe. I don't know.
I mean, you keep bringing up short round, but I mean, it was entertaining as hell with short round because he's always yelling at him.
Yeah, exactly. Dr. Jones. Yeah.
You told me to stand on the wall. I stood on it. Like,
yes. Yes. See, we're laughing about that now. That's what
Yeah.
I'm talking about. It's that, he's an ancillary character and he's got to be that kind of,
I mean, how were we introduced to him, right? Like, okie dokie, Dr. Jones, hold on to your potato.
Yep. Exactly. Oh, yeah. Beautiful.
Short round was great.
Yes.
Oh yeah, short round was great. Definitely could have been a character that you should have brought back, right? Like,
Absolutely. Can you see? I don't know. You find the right actor, recast him. He's still hanging out with Dr. Jones. I don't know.
he definitely would have been like if it would have been a linear story, right, and a repeating theme, they would have done that, but they didn't do that because that's not what they were going for.
Right.
I mean, hell, they didn't even bring Marion back. They didn't even mention her.
Oh. In Temple of Doom. Or what are you talking about?
In the other film, like, where was she in Last Crusade?
Right. Yes.
Didn't even mention her.
Right.
So that was intentional.
Yeah, gotcha.
Yep, that was intentional.
Hmm.
No one returned.
Right.
So, oh, wait, I take that back. I mean, you did have a couple returning characters.
Okay.
Because Sala returned.
Oh, right. Yep.
Was Brody in? Was Brody in Raiders?
I don't recall him in Raiders.
Yes, he was, right?
Yeah.
Because remember he was wandering in the market. Wasn't that in Raiders? Or was that Last Crusade? Where they shot him in the truck? Yeah, that was Last Crusade. So yeah, he wasn't in Raiders. So
Okay.
yeah. So only Sala.
Right. Which it was nice to see him in this movie.
It was great. It was really great, actually.
Yeah.
So that was actually one of the nostalgia high points for me.
Agreed.
Was having him show up, like, because he's a great character.
Yep.
I like how he wanted to go on an adventure this time.
Yeah.
If I remember right, he definitely regretted the other ones.
Exactly. Oh, that's funny.
So, what do you think about the artifact?
Interesting. So I like to watch these history shows sometimes, right? Where, I'll call it out. Ancient Aliens even, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they'll talk about these, they found this, what they call an ancient computer, and it's got gears inside and this and that. It looks an awful lot like this thing that's in this movie. And they're trying to figure out what it could have been used for, and it's, very similar concept, I think, to what I think it inspired this piece in this movie, to be honest about it. But I don't know, like, I like the idea. So you're getting me off on a tangent on not just the artifact, but Archimedes as well, because I like the idea that our ancient ancestors were probably a lot smarter than we give them credit for. Yet, I don't know. There's to have the knowledge to predict where these rifts are going to be. I don't know. Help me out, Joe. What am I trying to say?
I don't know.
It's not the same kind of artifact Indiana Jones was chasing after before. I don't know. It's weird.
Well, I mean, with the exception of Crystal Skull, it was all religious artifacts.
It's true.
This would be a more scientific artifact.
They bring up mathematics a lot in this.
They do. I mean, so I think it's funny too, because the I don't know if it's truly a MacGuffin, but like the MacGuffin here is the item that inspired the second half of the name, or I guess the majority of the name, because the name's the Dial of Destiny, right?
Right.
And this is a name inspired by the comic and stuff, and what was rumored to be the original title for this film, which was the Spear of Destiny.
Right. Which is off with, which is the artifact that is, like I said, the kind of distracting piece there. It is the spear, and it in that story is the spear that is used for Christ, right? Yes.
So, the spear in the hands of an army or whatever, the army be unstoppable, right?
Yes.
But
now
I think that
I just want to say, I did like how, Voller was trying to make his case for this Dial of Destiny thing, and the guy in charge, I forget his name, whatever, on the train, he's like, "You're telling me the spear is a fake, and we have to go tell the Fuhrer that, and you're going to tell him that we've got this dial that he's never heard of? Have you ever met the Fuhrer?" It's like, but everything, in these movies, everything Hitler was interested in is stuff that he could march before an army and would make his army unstoppable. It was the Ark. It was the Spear of Destiny. It's all, all these sort of things. The Holy Grail, right? They were looking for that. It's like, interesting.
Yes.
Sorry, I derailed your thought.
No, you're good. I just wanted to point that out, that was there, and I don't know. I didn't love the artifact here.
Right.
I didn't love it. One, the way it was broken into two.
Yeah, that was a little weird.
I'm like, that just seems like, you got all those gears and like, I don't know.
Exactly. And so part of it that bothered me, right? We did have this real, okay, we're going to decipher the code, and you know, there's, you know, it's made out of wax and wood. Oh, it's too heavy to be wax and wood. You know, all of that kind of stuff. That's true Indiana Jones, like, deductive reasoning stuff going on. I loved all of that. But to think that Archimedes is going to have the foresight to, like, I'm going to have this other half buried with me. You know what I'm saying? And I'm going to put a riddle out there so people are going to eventually be able to find it. You know,
it was a nice touch that he was wearing Volner's wristwatch in his tomb.
Yes.
Kind of spoiled the end of the movie, but
right, exactly. But, you know, that's there's an element of this excuse me, an element of this in this movie, but the thing about the others that I always liked about Indiana Jones is when it comes to the mystical, magical properties of whatever the items are, he's always kind of like skeptical, right? Until it comes to the moment. And then he's convinced and they work, you know?
Uh-huh.
So.
Well, I'll say this too. I think when you make a story like this and you spend so much time having a character talk about how this is just logical and this is just science and math, like, math conquers all. Like,
right.
You're like selling that this could actually work, right? Like, I don't know. When you how am I want to word this? So when you just start with an item that is just fantastical to believe with, to begin with,
right?
With these mystical powers, it doesn't need to pass any more scrutiny because its properties are just that. They're mystical properties. They're from a divine being or something like that, you know?
Right.
So you don't need to pass any scrutiny.
True. Yes.
But when you're talking like this is a mathematically created item and this is science and this is that, like, okay, now you're setting yourself up for additional scrutiny.
Absolutely.
And that's why I look at the way this thing slides together and I'm just like, how the hell do those gears work?
Right. No, I get you. I get what you mean totally. And
let me put it this way, Doug. You're a car guy.
Yes.
Have you ever had a single pair of sprockets just line up when you try to slide them together?
Oh, you mean without hammers?
Not just without hammers, but like just without any, like.
I get it.
Do they just line up? The teeth just fall into place?
No, never.
Okay. So you're gonna have this one with about, I don't know, 30 per side.
Right.
Just like go together and it's like, it's working.
They go together, and he literally just drops what would equate to like an input shaft down in the center of it, right?
Right.
And it all just works. Yeah.
And I was just like, okay. Bullshit.
Exactly. Yes. No, I'm with you there.
You'd have to jiggle that bastard around for about 6 hours.
Yep. And you'd have to make sure that you got all the marks lined up right and everything. Yeah. Yes. Yep. I mean,
that's where I'm getting at with the scrutiny.
There's room for suspension of disbelief, I guess, right? Mm-hmm. Maybe it just works that way, you know. I don't know. Although it being a machine, right, that runs off mathematics, you're right. It doesn't just work that way. Something that's like magical, empowered by the hand of God, right? Like the Ark of the Covenant or the Holy Grail. It's, yes, there are things that work there that we can't explain. You're right. Gears and mechanics, we do know about that, and they don't work the way they worked in this movie. Yes.
Right.
I love that you picked up on that. Yes. I'm with you.
Like, man, because I tell you what, I've had, doing timing chains and stuff like that.
Yep.
And you got all the marks lined up, and you're trying to just drop this chain into place. It's like, what the?
Oh, yeah.
Like, everything's right.
And it still doesn't work. Yeah, exactly. He slides the two pieces together.
Yeah.
Everything just starts moving around.
Yeah, and this guy just chilling out in the era of the Roman Empire, just like, oh yeah, I got this figured out.
Right.
Well, dude,
right.
we need some help.
Exactly.
We need some help. Because, yeah, it don't work like that.
It doesn't work like that at all. Yeah.
I mean, hell, he didn't even, spritz a little graphite on her or anything before he slid those together. I mean, dude, those things have been chilling.
Exactly. Yeah. Grease your gears, for sure. Yes.
That's a quick way to strip a gear and end up in a different time.
Exactly. Right. Oh, that's hilarious. I did like how Indy was able to make him second guess himself though, with the tectonic shift and all that. Yeah, it's typical Indiana Jones, right? Just trying to figure out a way to get out of this one. But
yeah, while I appreciate that he used that as a distraction,
yep,
I'm just like, is the stuff moving below that point on the Earth affect that point on the Earth? Or?
I know. It's like, okay. Yeah. I'm sorry. This brings me again back to the Archimedes thing. Is like, how does he even realize what he's looking at in the first place when there's these, whatever it is, it's a hole in the clouds in the sky or something, right? And it's like, I really do like to believe that we don't give our ancient ancestors enough credit for, being as advanced as they actually were or as smart as they actually were. But I don't know. That was a little beyond,
Right. And in order to use it, you needed a plane.
Exactly. That's the other part. I was like, really? I mean, maybe if some of these rifts opened up in the ocean or on land, but they didn't show that to us in the movie. So,
right.
Our only frame of reference is it's in the clouds.
Yep.
But yeah. So I got to bring up one other point that I thought, wow, nice little touch, I guess. In the plane, when they're fighting, Helena drops the hatch, drops all the Nazis out.
Yeah, those are the bomb doors?
Yep, the bomb doors.
That cracked me up so much.
But she gets dragged down in there. Indy gets a gun. He points it at the Nazi who's still got a hold of her. And my thought was, oh, she just needs to yell, a little higher, little higher. Oh, that was the Han Solo moment right there. But, okay, that's all. I mean, it looked kind of the same. It was...
What are you doing? I thought you were blind.
Exactly.
I'm seeing a lot better now.
Uh,
That would have been good.
yeah. I mean, since we're doing callbacks in this one, it worked.
Yeah. All right. So, all in all, what did you think of the film?
All in all, it wasn't a bad film. I liked it. I think there were a lot of criticisms that are out there. If you want to look them up online. You've probably seen them already. Are some of them valid? Yes. Are some of them like a little extra? Yes. Overall, I had a good time watching it. And that's about all I can say. It's it's probably going to be the last one that Harrison Ford himself actually does, right? So I would say it was a nice way to see him cap it off.
Yes. And I'll say this. I thought the same thing. And I will say, in comparison to Crystal Skull, this one felt like Indiana Jones.
Absolutely.
Their execution with music and all that stuff was just, it was done well.
Yeah.
It really felt like Indiana Jones. And I think, that flashback scene in the beginning, that really helps set you up and put you back in a familiar place.
Oh yeah, totally.
It is very reminiscent of Last Crusade, right? Where the film starts with a younger Indiana Jones.
Oh, sure. Yep.
And, you get this story that leads up to the artifact and stuff. So that also, that style of telling the story here was very reminiscent of past Indiana Jones films.
Right.
So, yeah, I felt like it was it was Indiana Jones being back to being Indiana Jones for the final outing, right?
Right.
And I will say this, you talked about the criticisms and stuff. This film saw a ton of criticism, mainly during the production process.
Right.
There's been less since its release. It's actually been pretty quiet since the film's release, in the grand scheme of things, compared to production.
Yeah. In the grand scheme of things, yes. Were there? I will say, were there a couple cringy lines of dialogue and things like that? Yes. But I didn't let that bother me for the whole movie, right? I mean, that's it.
Right. But I'll say this, we'll go over to the most unreliable site for movie information, Rotten Tomatoes. It usually is, right?
Sure.
It's Troll Central. But I will say, if you go over to Rotten Tomatoes and take a look, it's got a 70% critic score.
Okay.
And an 88% audience score.
Oh, there you go.
So, I mean, let's just do a quick comparison here.
What are we comparing?
Crystal Skull.
Ah.
Which had a higher critical score at 77%. But a very, very fresh, I'm using that term facetiously, audience score of 53.
Right.
So.
There was just too much different in that one, in my opinion. I mean, you weren't fighting Nazis anymore. You're fighting Russians and, all kinds of, stuff. You're trying to make that a handoff movie where this one, could it be a handoff, to somebody else kind of like taking the mantle? Yes, but it isn't necessarily that. You know what I mean?
Right. Oh, I thought for sure for a minute there they were killing Indiana Jones, and I'm like, don't do it. Don't you dare.
I will say,
If he would have stayed back there,
if he'd have stayed in 214, that would have been a fit end for Indiana Jones. But I'm glad he didn't, right?
right. My thing was, I thought they were going to kill him when they shot him.
Oh, I gotcha.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I mean, and the other thing with Crystal Skull too, like if you go back and watch that film and how they filmed that, like it was overly dark, right? Like,
Yeah, true.
just scenery wise.
Yes.
Whereas this one had that, kind of brightness restored to like your normal scenes.
Brightness and you're in a European city for part of it. You got that what would you call it? That you're in the old world for where
Right.
where he's familiar with the history of those places, kind of thing, going on.
Yep.
Whereas Crystal Skull is a lot of South American stuff and all that, and it was like that didn't seem to fit Indiana Jones as well to me.
Right. Right. Yeah, it was a good film.
It was definitely
good
good.
film.
I enjoyed it.
Yeah, it's worth the watch. Worth the watch. So if you haven't watched it yet, go watch it.
I'm sure everyone has, but yes, definitely. If you haven't, do it.
Yeah. Well, all right. If you have anything to add, you can always email us, show@thewarsandmore.com. It's the best way to get a hold of us. We're also on social media at The Wars and More on X, Facebook.com/TheWarsandMore. You can find all that and all the ways to find the show over at thewarsandmore.com. Any final thoughts this week, Doug?
No, I think we've about covered it.
All right. We will talk next week.